Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to another TEW2020 video. You join us today for the Go Home show from Dynamite for AEW All Out 2022. I cannot wait to get to the pay-per-view, and as much so that it actually seems like this show is quite short. 13 segments, it should blast through it, but it should tie up most loose ends. Of course, some to be finished up on lightning before we head to the pay-per-view. So, quick intro, let's do it. This week's episode of AEW, Wednesday night, Dynamite. So just 13 segments and 5 pre-show matches from the Bryce Jordan Centre in front of 15,261 fans. Pre-show, Claudio Castagnoli gets the win over Doug Williams with a neutralizer after 11 minutes and 14. That was a 55. Also at 55 was Jamie Hayter taking a surprise victory over Nikki Storm in 8:37 by pinfall. Delighted to give Jamie some sort of high profile victory. Will Hobbs defeats Mike Sydal in 6:23 by pinfall, delivers a 42. Whilst we had Gianna Daddio defeating Cassie, I'll get it right one week, in 12:05 with a reverse roundhouse kick. 53 with Gianna being off her game. Might give her a name change at this rate. And in the main event of the pre-show, Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Carl Anderson in 11:32 with a running single knee strike. 77, stellar for these two. Nakamura has been on a tear since we started our AEW Japan brand. So the start of Dynamite starts with CM Punk in the ring, and he says he's looking forward to his matchup at All Out. He says it's been a long time since he's been in such a pressure situation. I think the Walter match was a bit of a reality check, he says. He feels like that was an idea, but just disappointed that Cody Rhodes had to get his nose involved. Cody comes out alongside AJ Styles from the New Age Horsemen, and it seems like they are going to try and attack CM Punk, but Kenny Omega says, well boys, we want this big matchup for AEW. We want CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Why don't you get a little feeler of each other tonight in the main event, and we'll have CM Punk and Kenny Omega team up to face Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles. All green here, 88 overall. Should be a good main event. Might not be too close to the high 80s though, because obviously Punk and AJ have the physical decline. First contest though had great heat and good wrestling, and it saw Hangman Page pick up a win over Rey Mysterio in 11:51 with the Adam's Apple. Just say the buckshot laddie, we'll have that instead. But 80, Hangman's always going to produce good matches. I think this is one match I'd actually really like to see in real life, because I just feel these two would put on something pretty special. After the matchup, Hangman cuts a promo on Miro, and he says, right, fair enough, you've got me this Saturday, you've wanted your hands on me, you're going to get it, but just make sure you bring your A game, because I'm holding nothing back. I'm a TNT champion for a reason. I've been through hell and back in this company, and I'm going to drag you to hell with me, Miro. So it was a 79. Cage match is set. Hangman Page versus Miro. Next up, we saw a good matchup that had Will Ospreay pick up the victory over Isaiah Cassidy in 9:23 with an Oscar. A 71. Continuing the feud off between obviously the Uprising and Darby Allin and friends. So obviously we're going to see some multiple matches from that at the pay-per-view. We're going to see Ospreay teaming with Gargano and Samoa Joe to take on Private Party and Wardlow. Pretty weird combination, but it makes sense with the way the save's been going. Chris Jericho had a quick short match up against Luster, and he surprised them and picked up a surprise win. Well, not a surprise win, but a win out of nowhere with a cradle. 71, it's how he gets through a quick match against a big opponent. Looks absolutely great. Cuts a promo and just says, Tommy End, this rivalry comes to a head All Out. I'm going to put you out of your misery, I'm going to beat you, and you'll never ever have to face me again. You came back to wherever it was you came from, being frustrated that you're sitting on the sidelines because you just can't get to the level of Chris Jericho. That was in 86. I then oh my god, I've just seen something there and I absolutely can't believe it. Oh, that'll get amended. In an abysmal matchup, the Dark Order defeated Top Flight on their debut in 8:42 when Evil Uno pinned Dante Martin with a reverse pile driver. 56, pretty good there. Stu Grayson head and shoulders above everyone. 18 performances from both, next to no overness, so this was a case of giving them a spotlight. Both debut Luchador gimmicks, which were adequate and poor. They don't work well as a team together, their timing is all over the place. They're literally brothers. So obviously I imported both from, I think it was the Who's mod? I think I got them from the Who's mod. Skill, all the attributes are absolutely fine, I have no issues with that, I just can't go over it's popped up there, the timing's all over the place, so I'll need to have a wee look at the editor. That's one thing I will edit, because we're not having Top Flight together. That's literally why they were brought in, to be a tag team. I'm all for creative challenges, but come on to hell. When have Santana and Ortiz come out to speak about Uno and Grayson, and he says, well done boys, you've got yourself into contention for a championship match, but just remember who you're dealing with. You're dealing with these guys, the tag team champions, and we're going to send you back to Sir Brody Lee with a whimper, with a tail between your legs. Must say as well, by the way, 86 promo, solid from Santana and Ortiz. We had then 8 women action, and a bout that didn't have much heat and terrible wrestling as Dr. Britt Baker DMD and Priscilla Kelly, Abaddon and Anna Jay from the Dark Order picked up the victory over Kairi Hojo, Toni Storm, Shotzi Blackheart and Natty Neidhart in 12:01 when Britt Baker pinned Shotzi. At 64 there, you can certainly see a lot of good performances in there. Abaddon the weakest, but the fact is as well, Anna Jay up at 64, Britt with 58, the women's division is really starting to take off here. Once we get these mingling with the likes of Mercedes, Bayley, Ashley, it's going to be cracking. I then had the backstage segment where we had Prince Devitt bump into Darius and Dante Martin, who obviously had their debut match tonight and done really well. And he says, you know boys, I felt like these were really spectacular, so much that I was so impressed that I went to speak to Matchmaker Foley and I said to him, these guys deserve a really big opportunity on the pay-per-view. I'm not on the pay-per-view. I'd like to see us inserted into that Trios Championship match. And Mick Foley, you know what? He agreed with me boys, so get ready, get your bags packed, we're going to All Out. We are involved in that Trios match, and obviously Top Flight can't believe their luck. It's like, whoa, we're straight into a championship match. And yeah, they obviously underperformed because Devitt likes to be unscripted, so not the best promo or whatever, but it was a cheap way of getting these three together. Just a father figure type mentor role for Prince Devitt alongside Top Flight. I then had Johnny Gargano and Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks picks up the victory in 12:07 with the Buster Keaton. 77 here, two guys with spectacular performances, but the heel prevails. And after the matchup, Darby Allin says, well, it was meant to be the big brutal fight at All Out between me and MJF. It's a shame what happened to MJF, but oh well. I still want to get my hands in the Uprising, and Ricky Starks, it's you I want to get my hands on. So it's Saturday, that match is going to go down, and I'm going to put you inside the coffin. We're going to have a coffin match. Be ready. So Ricky Starks, Darby Allin coffin match at All Out, A-rated segment. It's such a shame that All Ego Ethan Page is tied up to Ring of Honor on this, or he'd be in that kind of spotlight. Main event did well, superb matchup. Punk and Kenny pick up the win over Cody and AJ in 21:38 when CM Punk submitted AJ Styles with an Anaconda Vice. So an 85 certainly surpassed expectations. You can see there Kenny and Cody with good performances. Punk 180 is not too bad. AJ 71 because of the physical decline. But I feel like he's just that veteran that can take losses, and he's never going to make it to the main event scene again, but he's going to have like a solid upper mid card veteran level for us. So the show itself does an 85, increases their pop in 10 regions, and that is a good way to kick off All Out Week basically. So just to run through the matches that are like 100% confirmed, there's a lot. Kenny versus Andrade, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, Jericho versus Tommy End. You obviously know about Rey Fenix and Pentagon. AJ Styles, Ace Austin, Pete Dunne versus Brody Lee, Alex Reynolds, John Silver versus Prince Devitt and Top Flight. Santana and Ortiz against Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. We're going to add in the Young Bucks versus Gallows and Anderson, which is pretty much set in stone. Darby Allin versus Ricky Starks in a coffin match. Johnny Gargano, Will Ospreay and Samoa Joe versus Wardlow, Private Party. Kairi Hojo versus Ashley for the Women's Championship. Jon Moxley and Thunder Rosa versus Adam Cole and Britt Baker for the Mixed Tag Champs. Mercedes versus Bayley. And then those X and Live Championship matches. Of course, the X will be put up for the first time. And the Live Championship will be Walter versus a few guys. Fantastic reviews. Kane hasn't wrestled in over a year. He's still active. Oh, he's going to retire in like 2 weeks' time, if that. Best overall worker in the business. That's some good cowboy shit. And Xia Brookside is in. Perfect. Basically, she's going to work in AEW Japan alongside Isla Dawn. We also have basically need women to put women over, so I need some lesser over talents. And Candice's contract is up shortly, so you know, bringing her in is just basically a mentor to Britt, and it's always good to have a bit more depth. Janela's contract's expiring, that's fine. I do what I've been doing most contracts. So he has been making 1,500 a show. I've got so many talents. Even Nakamura's new deal is a handshake deal, and it's like per show as well, so they don't get as much money as they previously were getting. And a 3.31 for the go home show. One more show to go. Lightning will be up in a few days' time, and then it is all out. And then we hit that reset button. So thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed that, wee thumbs up's appreciated. You know the rest of the drill. If you want to get active, you know what to do in the comments section. And until next time, see you soon. Bye bye.